Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across this great wide world of ours. Today I'm doing a video current concerning the fundamental or the philosophy of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. From this point on, I'm going to refer to them as the BIA. And when we think of the BIA, the philosophy is of the Bureau is to better the lives of Native American people. Consequently, I believe that message is being, and this is my opinion, is not being received as well by many indigenous people and tribes all across the United States. And the issue becomes there's this mistrust, this hopelessness that has emerged concerning the BIA and its intention of helping other people or helping other indigenous people. But the issue becomes there's a mistrust of the government. Well, the BIA is part of the government. So we created an institution, in essence, that has a mistrust or misunderstanding with Native American people. So the philosophy here is a mixed philosophy because what we're really creating here is a fact that maybe tribal leaders in the bureaucracy within the BIA may think that they're doing a good job or helping Native Americans better their lives. But there still is, and I'm sorry about this, but my throat dries up. But there is still this mistrust of the government. So when we look at the history of the BIA, and I've talked about that in the past, is that we see that the BIA is was created in the 1830s in March. And the issue becomes when this was formed, um, it was under the War Department. And the War Department is the one that became the issue within moving Native Americans off their lands and putting them on lands as the issue of um, manifest destiny occurred in the 19th century. The movement of Native Americans more westward and more in isolated areas because this became this manifest destiny became part of the issue on how to move things forward. So what became out of this was an issue on uh, mistrust, um, contempt for the federal government. So, what does the federal government do? They create the BIA. And the BIA is really, when we look at this is a form of an institution that was formed, or the foundation formed in the 19th century. But really, though it is reformed and changed, my rationale behind this is there's still this mistrust of the federal government. So there needs to be a change within the BIA because really, I honestly, I've read books about this as well. A lot of organizations become top heavy in the federal government we create more jobs for federal employees and not necessarily get this um, help that's needed to the individual tribes, individual leadership within the tribes, and the individual people within the tribe. So the concern that I have in them doing my readings on this is that we have this misunderstanding of the BIA among many indigenous people, especially at the lower levels, and I don't mean leadership levels, that still have a mistrust of the government, and yet we have a growing BIA, which dictates or forms opinions or foundations for Native Americans, though many of Native Americans mistrust the government. So there again, this institution of the BIA is founded upon a flawed assumption in philosophy or in psychology. This assumption turns out to be what I call a false negative, or in the essence that it looks great on paper, but in actuality, is that effective that it can help those? My answer to that is, in my opinion, is no. It's not that as effective as it could be if we look at the structure of it. And like I said, we've got like 12 divisions, 13 divisions of the regional offices, and I'm under the contention that the Bureau of the major office should be closed in Washington, D.C., and there should be just 4 regional offices. And then that money should be turned over to individual regions or individual tribes who can do more for the social as well as the infrastructure of many Native American tribes. And in essence, this can help a lot of tribes do a better job, which may lead to a better understanding about the federal government and a better trust with the federal government. And like I said, a lot of this occurred with in the 1830s with what we have. For example, the Trail of Tears, Indian removal of the 1830s, the Dawes Act of the 1880s. For example, both of these were part of the decision by the federal government to move. The first one, Indian removal, was to move Indians out of the southeast United States and move west. And the Dawes Act was to Christianize the Native Americans, force children off the reservation, in essence, which would lose their identity. All this occurred under the BIA. And really, I know that there's been changes within the BIA, but the point is the whole premise behind BIA is not really should be changed to something other than BIA, because like I said, there's a lot of mistrust. And my scholarly work on this is reflects this, because when I do studies, I have a hard time getting people to accept what I'm trying to do with work, and then tell them that this is scholarly work. And then we have the issue of trying to, they don't want the government involved in a lot of things. So, yet we have the BIA, which is like a misnomer about things. So that's why one contention I am saying that the BIA needs to be reformed, eradicated, and a new system created under the Interior Department. And there again, I think there's a lot of bureaucracy within the BIA. If you stream that down, I think this trust may increase among tribal leaders and individual tribal members. And a lot of this is graft as well. Is, like I said, this is, though the federal government is intertwined with the BIA, I think that it should be a separate entity, not associated with the federal government, and exist in a different form. And maybe possibly the extension of this might be that it be turned over to the states rather than the federal government itself, which may be a better solution to the problem with the BIA, rather than having the federal government. Plus, it would save money, uh, which would then be able to be used to more to the tribal centers than necessarily to the federal government. And like I said, the federal government becomes bureaucracy. It comes to a point where there's too much and it's broken and it needs to be changed. So, like I said, these are some foods for thoughts about the BIA. Um, please like and subscribe to my channel. Um, please also know that I do have books available. Um, Native Americans, History, 15th and 19th Century. That was one of my earlier works, which, to be honest, is my letter, but it's one of my earliest works. The other one is Casinos, Diminishing Returns for the Reservations. And my latest one, which I did in October, Water Quality on the Reservation. So all these books are available on Amazon currently right now. Also, another one is Don't Buy Your Lottery Ticket. I think that coincides with what goes on the reservation because um, the lottery, in my opinion, is a poor man's game or a poor person's game, excuse me, and it is not meant for people to win at the law. It's a moneymaker for the government or the states, and not necessarily for that. But there again, that's why I say maybe we ought to look at the BIA, demolish the, not demolish, but eradicate the BIA, and then take that money and maybe convert that over to the states' issues, to each individual states. And some states have don't have that, and just come up with a number, because really tribes west of the Mississippi have more Native Americans compared to east of the Mississippi. Not saying they don't exist, but come up with a formula and maybe turn that over to states. Anyway, that's just some food for thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Please feel free to leave any comments at bthomasmillerpsych at gmail.com. That's bthomasmillerpsych at gmail.com. Anyway, talk to you real soon and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.